On the news, Tinubu defeats top contenders Osinbajo, Amechi and Lawan to win APC presidential ticket. PDP presidential candidate Abubakar Atiku hails Tinubu's tenacity, congratulates ex-Lagos governor. And mixed reactions trail Tinubu's emergence as APC presidential candidate in Lagos. We're glad to have you join us to news now. I am Folashade Ogurinde. Former Lagos State Governor Bola Tinubu has emerged as a presidential candidate of the ruling party, the All Progressives Congress, APC. Tinubu emerged as a candidate at the end of the presidential primary, while Tinubu, who doubles as a national leader of the party, got 1,271 votes. His major opponents, Amechi and Osinbajo, secured 316 and 235 votes, respectively. About 2,322 delegates from across the country had stormed Eagle Square in Abuja to elect the flag bearer of the party ahead of the 2023 general elections. In his acceptance speech, the flag bearer of the ruling party, Bola Tinubu, promised to serve the country with all his strength while ensuring the unity of the nation.
We are sure no animal in the darkness of the night, no intruders, no destroyers can bring Nigeria backwards. Forward, we are moving. I must thank our men and women in uniform, those who make sacrifices of their life, left family behind, and continue to fight for the survival of this country. Be assured, it is the beginning of that time now. You will get reward and enjoy a part of your life. You won't sacrifice for nothing.
The presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, has congratulated his All Progressives Congress opponent, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for winning the APC presidential ticket after a hard-fought primary. This was contained in a tweet on Atiku's verified Twitter account on Wednesday. Atiku said Tinubu's victory was proof of his tenacity in his journey towards strengthening the nation's democracy. Well, to discuss this further, Charles Ideho, political affairs analyst, joins me now. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, the much-anticipated APC presidential primaries has come to an end, with the former governor of Lagos State emerging as the party's flag bearer. Were you expecting this outcome?
Yes, I was. The very moment they said they were going to allow every one of them to go to the field, the open field, to go contest to go contest for the flag, of the APC. I knew that Asiwaju Bola Tinubu was going to eventually emerge, because when you look at his antecedent, you look at his history, look at what he has done in this country. He's one man that has been able to build structures across the country, even in length and breadth of those country. He has friends across the Niger, he has friends across the Benue. So he's somebody who of course, has been able to reach out to every aspect of this country, the news and craning, in a manner of speaking, to have friends. And then he also didn't care whether you were a Yoruba man or you were an Igbo man or so. Once he finds something in you that he thinks is useful, and then he picks on you, and he picks you, I meant to say, and then he gives you something that will also make you relevant. So, and it's a payback. It's just like a payback time for everyone he has been able to invest in leadership, invest in all manner of things that he has been able to sow into the lives of people. So you expect that someone like that would not be an easy pushover. But so that's as it appears, it's not surprising to me when actually they left the feed open to all of them. But if it had been consensus, it may not have emerged because it's not. If you want to look at it, it's not actually in the good books of the power that be, politically speaking, for Ashade.
Now, does the emergence of Tinubu pose a threat to the PDP's aim to reclaim the #1 seats in the 2023 polls?
There's a yes, there's a no. Because I always want to look at the pendulum. I always want to look at issues on a scale. Yes, on the one hand, that is powerful. He is the only. Let me make no mistake about it. He's the only. He used to be an aspirant. Now he's a candidate. He's the only candidate that APC can throw up that can also match Atiku Bakar of the PDP. If you want to see money for money, structure for structure, popularity for popularity, strength for strength, he's the only one. It's actually going to be a very, very interesting race, a two-horse race to win. But again, Atiku, if you look at it, if you are going to analyze exactly how they stand, Atiku may have an advantage over Tinubu when it has to do with, you have three regions in the south. You have southwest, south-south, and southeast. But if you go to the southeast and south-south, Tinubu may not do well there because of sentiment. But in southwest, yes, it's expected that that's his home base. He'll be able to do well. But Atiku should be able to do well in south-south and south because he also made friends over there and all that. So his emergence definitely would unsettle the APC because they thought PDP emerged. The PDP actually thought that APC was going to field a lily-livered candidate in a manner of speaking. But now that Tinubu has emerged, it's also a bulldozer, as we say in this part of the world, and it's going to be a very, very interesting race because it's going to be fully contested, and it's also very keenly contested.
Now, a quick one before I let you go, Charles. A close look at the results shows that the former Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, secured a total of 316 votes, superseding the Vice President by 81 votes. That's an interesting outcome. Do you agree?
Yes, you see, because a lot of people were saying it was going to be Tinubu and Yemi Osinbajo's show. But I personally, I'm also, as a political watcher, I'm also surprised that Tinubu, he consigned Yemi Osinbajo to the 10th place. I never expected that Amechi was going to do so well, but I expected he would do well, but not so well, superlatively speaking. That he was able to garner about 316 votes to Vice President 235. I think it's a surprise to me. It means that he also was not a pushover, as so many people thought he was going to be. So, but how he was able to garner that, I really can't tell. But as the days mature into weeks, we should be able to look at that and see what factors actually played to give him that strength that he mustered to actually consign the Vice President to the 10th place in this contest, Folashade.
Well, thanks indeed, Charles Idaho, political affairs analyst. Thank you very much for your time. And we all look forward to 2023, where the battle line, so to speak, has been drawn between the PDP and the APC. But thank you very much for your contribution. Meanwhile, mixed reactions have trailed Bola Tinubu's emergence as a presidential flag bearer of the All Progressives Congress, APC. Speaking to TV360 News, some Lagos residents expressed optimism that Tinubu's emergence is a sign of hope for a better Nigeria, as he is the best man for the job. They added that a much younger candidate, preferably from the southeast, should have been given the opportunity to run the affairs of the country.
He's quite experienced. He's been in governance, but I think we still have more younger people in the country the world, things are changing the world, we are going technology. I think we should look at younger people to handle the affairs of this country. So maybe, yes, Tinubu from the Southwest, but this time around, I'm still thinking, or the thoughts of so many out there, is that we have somebody much younger, and probably this time from the East. So let's give the Easterners a chance to rule Nigeria and see what they stand to offer.
It's a welcome idea. It's a welcome development. We've been expecting it because he has done a lot of contribution for people. He has made people who they are today, and it's time for him to reap from what he has been doing. So imagine as the candidate of APC, it's a welcome development, and we believe with what we are seeing in Lagos and his contribution so far, especially in the Southwest, we believe he will extend it to the Federation.
When you look at the aspirants, he's the most popular person among them in terms of what he has done in Lagos State and in terms of his influence. So I'm not surprised, I expected it. I believe they are going to come together, they are going to come to work as a party, as one unified party. I believe the other contestants or aspirants, they are all going to come to the round table to forge a formidable front to contest with the PDP candidate, that is Atiku Abubakar.
He deserves it. He has really worked in Lagos. He made Lagos what it is today, that everybody can move freely. No harassment from area boys, all these touts. So I think he's the best candidate. I mean, he's the best person to be the president of this country. All those other ones are not it.
Well, still on electoral matters, the Chief of Air Staff, Air Chief Oladayo Amao, has assured that the service to provide the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) with all the support it needs to conduct the Ekiti and Osun gubernatorial elections and the 2023 general election. He gave the assurance on Wednesday when he held talks with INEC Chairman Mahmood Yakubu in Abuja. Earlier, the INEC chairman told the Air Chief the Commission cannot undertake any election alone. According to him, INEC needs the support of the armed forces to deliver materials and provide election security.
It is obvious that in handling such a huge national assignment, the Commission cannot do it alone. Every national asset must be mobilized. It is a realization of this objective that the law empowers the Commission to seek the support of the security agencies in general and the armed forces in particular in delivering materials for election and the protection of election officials.
Preparatory to the forthcoming general election in February 2023, I believe further liaising with us is necessary, and which we are doing now, to enable us to incorporate INEC activities in our operational plans. And accordingly, we pledge to continue rendering all necessary assistance and support to make INEC more efficient in the discharge of its constitutional responsibility. We are already working ahead and making effort to get most of our transport aircraft ready for us to be able to support INEC.
The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) in Lagos State has partnered with the European Union Support to Democratic Governance in Nigeria, as well as Yaga Africa, to mobilize youth in voter participation. Speaking at a press briefing on Tuesday, INEC President Electoral Commissioner in Lagos State, Olusegun Agbaje, charged Lagos residents, especially the youth, to maximize the opportunity to obtain their PVCs ahead of next year's election. He lamented that about 13,355 PVCs are yet to be claimed by their owners, despite the Commission's effort, adding that it was time Nigerians showed more concern about the electoral process.
We are using this week for the youth, but we are also interested in other participants to register. Those who are 18 years and above who have not registered before and register afresh. Those who want to transfer, because we created additional polling units. In Lagos State, last year, over 4,000 polling units were recently created to add to the previous 7+. So we have over 13,325 polling units in Lagos now. So we encourage them to also transfer to these new polling units, because we don't want the commission to, if you have just about 5 or 10 people registered in the polling unit. So we are going to next year print ballot papers for 10 people in a polling unit, and so also man those polling units for 10 people. It should be too costly for Nigeria.
Both at the state elections, national elections, it is important. A lot of young people are angry with what's happening in the country. Look at what happened in Ondo. Look at what the killings in different parts of the country. The insecurity has gone so high. If you look at the economy. But it's not enough for young people to be angry and vent, and this outrage on social media is very good. But it will not make any difference if you don't register, if you don't collect your PVC, and if you don't vote at the next election. So the next election is about young people, and young people must make their numbers count by coming out to vote.
This is a wake-up call for all citizens to come up and exercise their franchise, exercise your right. You know, this time around, I don't see anybody lagging behind. Both the people that have voted before, both the people that have not voted before, everybody is coming out now to, you know, because what we are seeing in this country is not what we expected. So everybody wants a new leader, wants a new change, wants new things.
We'll take a break here, but still to come, Nigeria's public debts climbed by 2.04 trillion naira in the first quarter of 2022. Details of this story and more right after this break. Welcome back. Now here is a recap of some of our top stories tonight. Former Lagos State Governor Bola Tinubu has emerged as a presidential candidate of the ruling party, the All Progressives Congress (APC). Tinubu emerged as a candidate at the end of the presidential primary. While Tinubu secured 1,271 votes, his major opponents, Amechi and Osinbajo, secured 316 and 235 votes respectively. We also told you that the presidential candidate of the ruling of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, has congratulated his All Progressives Congress opponent, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for winning the APC presidential ticket after he had fought primary. Atiku said Tinubu's victory was proof of his tenacity in his journey towards strengthening the nation's democracy. But in case you missed any of our news bulletin or for more updates, do log on to our website at www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube and Google Plus at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we are TV360 Online. And now to COVID-19 updates. The FDA's Vaccine Advisory Committee has voted in favor of Novavax COVID-19 vaccine for use in adults, paving the way for the company to get its first product authorized in the U.S. But the day-long meeting raised a number of concerns presented by Novavax's late entry to the vaccine field. Also, questions were raised by the committee members about the need to authorize yet another COVID-19 vaccine as demand has waned in the U.S. The head of the drugs giant Oxford AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine says the jab managed to save 1 million lives despite facing setbacks. AstraZeneca boss Pascal Soriot also addressed studies linked to the vaccine to rare but dangerous blood clots. Soriot received a knighthood in the Queen's Jubilee birthday honors last week for his contributions to science. Nearly half of the adult population in the UK has received 2 doses of the vaccine, where it is believed to have saved more lives to date than the Pfizer and Moderna jabs combined. Well, we'll take a breather here and return with more stories in business. To stay with us. Welcome back. And in business, the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund (IMF) says there are prospects in the removal of trade barriers and incentives for higher production as a risk of stagflation spreads across the global community. This comes as the World Bank raises Nigeria's 2022 economic growth prospect to 3.4%, which is 0.9% points higher than the 2.5% contained in its January global economic prospect. The growth is expected to slow down to 3.2% next year through 2024, which is also higher than its earlier position by 40 basis points. The Debt Management Office has disclosed that Nigeria's total public debt stock increased to 41.60 trillion naira in the first quarter of 2022 from 39.56 trillion naira as of December 2021. This shows an increase of 2.04 trillion naira within a period of 3 months. The public debt stock covers the total domestic and external debt of the federal government and state governments, as well as the Federal Capital Territory (FCT). I will take a breather here and return with a review of the stock market. Stay with us. Trading ended negative on the Nigeria Stock Exchange, leading it to end on a decline of 0.14%. The losers list is led by Champion Breweries and Cornerstone Insurance with a loss of 4 naira. Keverton Offshore Support Group and FTN Cocoa Processors led the gainers with a combined 1 naira, 11 naira 53 kobo. The all-share index peered at 53,193 basis points, while market capitalization stands at 28.7 trillion naira. For the market summary, a total of 248 million volume of shares valued at 1,861 billion naira were traded in 4,265 deals. For the global stock, sentiment remains fragile and concerns rising rates will stifle economic growth and the outlook for corporate earnings. UK's FTSE and US Dow Jones both ended in the negative territory with a decline of 0.078% and 0.19%, leaving Japan's Nikkei at 1.04%. And now on the foreign scene, Russian lawmakers have passed legislation that finalizes Moscow's exit from the jurisdiction of the European Court of Human Rights. The vote came following Russia's expulsion from the Council of Europe in March after President Vladimir Putin sent troops to Ukraine on February the 24th. The move deprived Russians of what many activists saw as the last hope for justice and crushed efforts to integrate the country into the international rights framework. And now on the entertainment scene, the Vfa Kingdom in Lagos State has celebrated the ancient Vfa Gallaudet Festival after a 12-year break in its commemoration. The festival, which celebrates female fertility and motherhood and combines art and ritual dance and public display by colorful masked figures, was held on Sunday at the Yaba College in Lagos and attended by royal figures and spectators. Our correspondent Simi Saladigun files in this report.
The Vfa Gallaudet Festival, which has been in existence for over 3 centuries in Yoruba communities in Nigeria, Benin Republic and Togo, is held in celebration of the Yoruba primordial mother, Iyanla, known for female fertility. The Gallaudet ceremony, which celebrates mothers and motherhood in the society, involves singing and music, especially drumming, and carefully choreographed dance by masquerades. Speaking at the celebration of the festival's rebirth at the sports complex of the Yaba College of Technology, Lagos, the Onisabe of Igbobi-Sabe, Oba Owolabi Adeniyi, says the event is a fulfillment of his promise to move his community to greater heights socio-culturally.
Gallaudet is about womanhood. And if you see the way they will dress, even those in the costume may be men, but they represent womanhood. Every year we are going to be doing this remembrance and the festival so that our prayer will continue to be answered.
What a man can do, a woman can do better. You understand? With due respect to all Ades, we cannot be kings, but we can be whoever we want to be. There's no reason why a woman can be anything. Things like, okay, I'm going to be just housewife. That was then. There's no reason why a woman shouldn't work. We cannot kill our husbands.
Other royal fathers commended the Igbobi Sabe community for the cultural rebirth. They urged Nigerians, especially the Yoruba race, to ensure that every aspect of the African culture is preserved.
Gallaudet to us is as important in our traditional festival. For Gallaudet, if it is introduced in a place, that place will continue to live in peace and harmony.
Before, when anything happen, we go to river, we do sacrifice, we do everything to pursue those things away. But they don't do it anymore unless this thing brought back to the real fathers so that they can know how to do things as they are doing it before.
Although the Gallaudet Society has a large number of female members, the festival promotes social harmony between both men and women within the society. Simisola Digun, TV360 News.
Away from entertainment and now to sports, the Danhai Pro Turco Juniors U20 Championship for young chess players has kicked off in Lagos. Speaking on the first day of the event, the chief arbiter of the tournament, Akihu Ehidame, said that the purpose of the championship is to discover more junior chess players and to crown a new under-20 chess champion. The tournament, which lasts for 3 days, is set to improve youth involvement in the game of chess.
On its own, you know, when you win a chess game, it lifts you, okay, and makes you feel on top of the world. It imbues confidence in the chess player and gives you an opportunity to be able to show the world that you can succeed at whatever you can do. So this chess in itself, that's what it does. So the tournament measures how far you have gone in this. And we have parents, we have coaches here who have brought their words to actually showcase what they have been able to teach them over the period of their training. The caliber of children and youths that are playing here today, and you can see if a little child now wins against a bigger youth, of course he's going to feel on top of the world, you know, and that will encourage him and his peers too.
We're trying to give them more tournament playing time so that they can improve better, and you know, we just feel like we want the future of Nigerian chess to be bright, and we have to start from the grassroots. Last year we did a tour where we were in 4 different cities. Previous year we did several tournaments, so about 2 to 3 years now we've been doing tournaments consistently for juniors. Sometimes we call some senior players to also play with them to train them. You know, so we do a lot of tournaments for about 2 to 3 years now.
That's the size of our news bulletin. Many thanks for watching. I am Folashade Ogrinde. Bye for now.